Fellow Kenyans, allow me start by saying this, that the challenges that we are facing in this country, especially as far as passing bill are concerned, is the National Assembly and the Senate. That is where all these problems are coming from. And that is why you find that the bill goes to the parliament. Parliamentarians don't even take seriousness about it, and then at the end of the day, it comes out, and now it forces now the CS or the minister to try to defend what has been passed in parliament. So that is what I want us to talk about, because this issue of education imekuwa kitu kubwa sana, and according to how I see it, or according to how I understand it, it's like we are trying to blame some people. And we need to blame everybody, but now we are only blaming a few, and then now tunasahau now wengine. But before we get into that discussion, fellow Kenyans, let me just quickly remind you that if at all you're meeting for the first time, don't forget to click the subscribe button. You can as well like, you can share, you can drop me a comment in the comment section, tell me what you think and where exactly you're watching this video from, because many a times we watch video and forget to subscribe. You can as well like, and you can also share. And I've seen people telling me that Boni number ni gani ya support, or this is the number. If maybe you want to support maybe the channel and all that, you can basically use that number. And I really appreciate you guys for your greatest support. You've been doing this for a very long time, and I know that you are still going to do it. Now let us get back into the discussion. I want us to talk about something here, and I want you to be very much keen on what I'm going to say. I think the whole of last week, just immediately after John Mbadi appeared to the Senate committee, there is something that John Mbadi said. And then after that, John Mbadi also said publicly that Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, Mwai Kibaki, sorry, that Emilio Mwai Kibaki, that is the third president of the Republic of Kenya, served Kenya for 10 years. And during the time that he was serving Kenya for 10 years, he didn't offer free secondary education.
Thing that we remember Kibaki for. But for the 10 years that he was a president, he never attempted to start or introduce free secondary education. I hear people say that Kibaki was able to teach or have our children learn for free. It is not true. He made sure that our children went to school for free in primary school. For secondary school, it is President Uhuru Kenyatta who started this initiative of, Kwanza, it was subsidized secondary school. Then later he announced that it should be free day secondary school. And so each child in day secondary school right now, according to government policy, should be paid for 22,000 shillings every year. For junior secondary school, it is 15,000. And for primary school, it is 1,400. But I want to tell you this, and that is the fact, that since the introduction of free day secondary school, the government has not been able to give or allocate every student 22,000. It has never happened. The government has always been having debts for schools, and this teacher can tell you, the principal. That is why you hear principals saying, we have not received full capitation. But let me tell you this, the government disburses the whole amount allocated in the budget, but still it is not enough. So, the only thing I did yesterday was to confirm that yes, we have allocated so much budget and we are giving it in full, but it is not enough to give every child in Kenya 22,000 shillings. That budget, if you divide by the number of children in Kenya who are in senior secondary school, you will only get about 17,000. And that is the story. That is what has been happening when Uhuru was the president. It is what we have even now. In fact, yesterday I was wondering when MPs were asking me why I have not released 22,000 per student. I asked them, where do I get that money? It is them who passed the budget. In fact, the latest budget, even the capitation we had put, Parliament reduced it further. So once a budget has been allocated, where do I have money? Where do I get money to pay the full 22,000? So whatever is there will be paid in full. In fact, for first term and second term, we have paid in full. We are waiting to pay third term. But that money is not enough. We are looking at revenue collection. And our priority is to make sure that we take the allocation to where it should be. But pretending that at the moment we are financing every student in secondary school at 22,000, junior secondary school at 15,000, primary school at 1,400, no. We have a shortfall and that is a fact. But in Kenya, sometimes people don't want to hear facts. They like fiction. They like to be misled. They like people who are telling them what they want to hear. Now, I was asking MPs, actually this was my suggestion to them, that because we are only having a shortfall of about 5,000 per student, if we are truly serious that we want full capitation to go to school, we could agree that out of the National Government Constituency Development Fund, the 58 billion, we know 40% by law is bursary. Why don't we take that 40% out of 58 billion, which is 21 billion, and then we spread it to all our children in Kenya, and we will give full capitation. No one needs to go to the MP to ask for money, because the government shall have paid full fees for everybody. There will be no need to go for bursary. Money has already been paid by government. But when my colleague MPs, because I'm still like an MP, when they had that, hapo hawataki. But they want Mbadi to tell them that every child will get 22,000. But where is that money? The budget cannot accommodate 22,000. It can accommodate 17,000. We are discussing as a government how that shortfall can be bridged. But in the meantime, I offered a solution. One of the solutions, get the bursary money, mop it up from GAF, from NGCDF, from county bursary if they want to negotiate with us. We put it in one basket and give it to all children in Kenya so that everybody gets equal amount. All children go to school without pay. That is a suggestion I'm putting on the table. If you have another suggestion, offer it. That is my suggestion as the National Treasury and Economic Planning Secretary.
That is what John Mbadi said, that Kibaki did not offer free secondary education. Now, if Kibaki did not offer free secondary education, but he offered free primary education, Uhuru Kenyatta, according to how I understand it, Uhuru Kenyatta came and did something on secondary education, if I'm not wrong. Then my expectation, or our expectation as a country, was that if Kibaki did something on primary education, Uhuru Kenyatta did something on secondary education, then why is it that William Ruto cannot do anything? Underline the word anything. William Ruto cannot do anything on university or colleges. What is the problem? Now, here is the problem. Are you seeing the generation that is giving William Ruto hard time right now? The Generation X, the millennials. These are group, or these are generation that received free primary and secondary education under Uhuru Kenyatta and Mwai Kibaki. So William Ruto looked at this thing and said that if this generation received free education and now they are giving me problem, so it means that the problem comes when you give somebody free education. So instead of giving these people free education, waje wakanisumbue, let me take it out so that they pay for it. Why did William Ruto withdraw? Why is William Ruto withdrawing the funds for the education? This is the reason. This is the reason. Sorry. William Ruto wants to lead a stupid, unlearned generation without knowledge. Because kama anasema ya kwamba hao watu wakisoma, you know, this is what is it is. Anaona kwamba if these people are learned, hao watu kama wenye walisoma kitambo na wananipea pressure hivi, hao walipata free education. So what if now nimepea wengine free education? What will happen? So it means that William Ruto is afraid of giving people free education because he knows the pressure that these guys are going to give him. If you want to kill a generation, ukitaka kuua nchi, if you want to kill a nation or a country, you really need to do a very simple thing. Do away with education. You'd have killed that country. Now, Elachi is saying something here. Today in the morning, she was on Hot 96. And there is something that Elachi said, which I would like both of us to listen to.
As much as members of parliament will think I'm saying crazy things, we are the ones who have just put that mess. Because the moment the budget came, what did the policy statement say? And why didn't we question the policy statement? Does it mean we are not reading these things when they come to parliament? Why didn't we question the policy statement and say, this policy statement says 22,000. Now, when we look at the budget you have brought, the projections are not tallying with the 22. Where do we now tell ourselves we will remove from here and ensure the 22 goes? We kept quiet. We passed the budget. You can't go back to the minister and tell him. He will tell you, this is the budget you passed on the floor of the house. I have calculated. That's why Mbadi is able to say like that and throw back the ball to us. But then now let us go to help, honestly. When we agreed and when the Gen Z said, this model is not the best, we needed to have just gone back on the drawing board. And I hope the Committee of Education went back to the drawing board and went to a retreat somewhere and say, that band, let's see the testing. How is it that a child who is this is able to get this and this one is not able? How can we balance so that because education equalizes, we don't find a lot of disparities? But at the same time, we must question ourselves. So me who is able, let's say for example, the examination fee. You want to tell me now I'm unable to pay for my child to go for examination fee, honestly. You see this thing also of making, if we want to make it equal, fine.
I have a question. I started by saying that the problem that we have in this country is coming from the Senate and the National Assembly. You and I will agree with me on that. That the problem that we have in this country is coming from the National Assembly. Especially the National Assembly. Why? Because a bill is taken to Parliament. These people don't go through the bill. What they say is, what they do is they argue about the education. I'm learned, I'm not learned, you know, you've done this. There is more tribalism talks in Parliament than even reading a bill and passing it. If you can read a bill, pass a bill, and then this bill brings problems outside there, and you don't mind, and then at the end of the day you come, you start crying, telling us that, oh, the problem came, oh, Mara, oh. Now, John Mbadi said what had been passed in Parliament. With these same members of Parliament. That is why I said that if we are really having a problem, and this 13th Parliament is the worst Parliament that we've ever had in this country. Because they don't mind about what is happening outside. They only mind about themselves. They only mind about how will we gain. They only fight for themselves. They don't fight for the people that took them there. They don't fight for the children of the people that took them there. They fight for themselves. So, I don't know how we are going to maneuver through this. I don't know how we are going to get out of this. The last statement, the same Elachi was telling the people of Western in front of Kithure Kindiki, and imagine Kithure Kindiki is laughing. She's telling the lawyers that Kikuyus, in fact, she's calling them Wasapere. She's telling them that Wasapere hawana kura kuliko Waluya.
Atakuja kuwabembeleza hapa. Ile kura mko nayo hata Msapere hana. Wacha niwaambie leo Waluya. Ile kura mko nayo Western, Wasapere hawana. So wasituringie sana ati hao ndio wanajua kuleta president.
Do you really know why Elachi was saying that? Elachi was saying that because she realized that Kikuyus somehow are like they are divided. Kuna wale wenye wanafuata Kithure Kindiki, kuna wale wenye wanafuata Rigathi Gachagua, na kuna wale ambao hawajui pale ambapo walipo. In Western, almost everybody anafuata George Natembea. Almost everybody. And maybe if you are in Western and you disagree with what I'm saying, drop your comment at the comment section. After all, guys, that's just what I have, and I would also like to give you a chance to also tell me what to think. And don't forget to click the subscribe button. You can as well like, you can also share this video so that it can reach very many people. Until we meet again, I have been your host, Boniface, Bingo.